Your friend, Dr. Franklin, here, to bring you brief discussions on some topics which you may take and make furtherance of to decide the best way forward for us all. Banned books. Ideas can be dangerous, but I have always found that an idea completely fleshed out, completely discussed, and with its benefit being the greatest good for the greatest number, shall almost always be the best decision forward. And ideas contained in books, magazines, articles, and other pamphlets may indeed be radical, may indeed be uncomfortable to read, but like Thomas Paine's common sense brought the common sense of the argument of why we subject ourselves to a monarch 3,000 miles away, helped change the very nature of the understanding of the people, the colonial people, and now the people of a new nation. And so I would say to you, if there are books being banned because they present those who are underrepresented, those who are minimalized or departmentalized outside of the norm as a way to lessen their influence, those books are perchance the best lights to hold forth. Indeed, as the lesser of us grows, I find that the greater of us benefit. The more the common folk know to read, know to discern, and know to be critical in their thinking, then the greater good for us all. For then it lessens the power of those who rule and spreads the power of those who are ruled. I see nothing but benefit. Welcome back to these Tavern Talks from your friend Benjamin Franklin. And I would like to discuss briefly the idea of hiding history. Now, one of the greatest advancements, of course, in human development, one of the great flames of awakening, was that of the printing press. For it enabled the great thoughts of the past to be brought forth and spread to a maximum number of people, those who could read. And of course, the more books, the more opportunity to learn to read. And when you remove the power of a few to hold back that information and only dribble it out to those they deem worthy, that gives the people with holding power a great deal of power that they perchance do not deserve. And so these books, in general knowledge of sciences, especially that from the Far East, and brought back from the Crusades, and the idea of the mathematics, the navigation, the healing arts, law principles, the ideas of literature and poetry, the ideas of stories, the ideas of the formation of this very planet. All those ideas brought forth to be discussed and brought into our own world were vital to my time of the Enlightenment, the time before me, by about 100 years of the Renaissance, and in your own time as well. These are important building blocks to build a better society. And the idea that history must be trimmed of that which is uncomfortable, that must be sanitized and whitewashed to be able to make it more acceptable of the past's mistakes, that is anathema to the development of a modern mind, of the development of a more subtle and useful mind. We must understand our history. We must understand the mistakes and the errors of our past, of our own past and of the past of those before us. We must know the trek we have walked. We must examine the footprints through our own timeline to be able to understand how better to place our foot in the future. History should not be cleansed, lest the soil from our footprints not be able to better our gardens of tomorrow. we must know all of our own histories. Welcome back to our Tavern Talks. I need another one, please. Thank you. I'm Benjamin Franklin, and I am your friend. And I'd like to speak a little bit about something called the Junto, a group of friends that formed, that I was part of, early in my life as a young printer in Philadelphia. Now, we were not well in the ways of wealth. We were not highly connected as the elder statesmen of our time. But what we had was good conversation and discussion, and our goal was to see what our combined force of about 12 souls could do for not only our own benefit, but for the benefit of our community. And this small group, really the precursor to your modern service organizations, the Kiwanis, the Rotaries, any such group, church fellowship groups, etc., that could be brought together to bear on mutual goal of assisting our community, did much work. The ideas for the fire companies, for example, for the policing force, for the beginning of the library system, the lending library system, that would be available to any who bought subscription, but really anyone could come into the rented rooms we had with our collection of books and read there to improve their mind. All these came from my Junto. And it was that combination of ideas, of friends, that small group of dedicated individuals that really began much of the fertile ground wherein were planted seeds which have grown and continue to grow. Free ideas of free healthcare, the idea of free education, all these were established by those early meetings of our friends. So I encourage such with you. I encourage such meetings, such gatherings, and always have in mind how it may benefit the greatest number, and especially those who are underrepresented, especially those who are underprivileged, to see how they may gain in knowledge, in critical thinking, and in the ability to not only share their ideas, but to learn the ideas of others. For it is this multi-threaded garment that we weave that is the most protective and the most beneficial for us all. Many threads bound together in one purpose: the betterment and the improvement of all.